This whole cutscene where after you defeated Rennala's first phase, Rani conjure up an image of her mother in her prime to protect her mother's integrity. That cutscene just stuck with me more than any other cutscene in the whole game. I watched this cutscene so many times that I pretty much memorized every dialogue in it. And I even recounts it randomly when I'm just chilling. The last queen of Caria, Rennala of the full moon. On top of that, after a lot of thinking, I think Rennala has gotta be one of my favorite bosses in all of Elden Ring. Right above the Lord of Blood himself, Mo.
I am fucking your brother.
Now, I know what you might think,
Rennala is pretty easy, right?
What? Rennala is super easy. What you mean, bro? Come on. I get what you mean, but there's a lot more to a boss fight than its difficulty, right? I mean, there's the difficulty, but there's also different aspect of it, like the arena, the music, the boss design itself, and much more that make up this whole thing into a complete package. And not to mention, I think Rennala is one of the best gimmick boss, if not the best gimmick boss FromSoft has ever created. She's sitting there above the Divine Dragon for me. Now, I want to ramble here a little bit about what makes Rennala absolutely stunning for me. Just like my Junichiro video, this is not gonna be a comprehensive analysis video. This is just gonna be pretty much me rambling and gushing about why I love Rennala so much and why I consider Rennala to be my queen, bro. Don't judge me, okay? None of my friends played Elden Ring yet. I need to let out this mad rambling somehow, somewhere, right? But enough of that, let's get into why the last queen of Caria is absolutely my favorite.
Mother's rich slumber shall not be disturbed by thee. Send word far and wide of the last queen of Caria, Rennala of the full moon, and the majesty of the night she conjureth.
Earlier I mentioned there's a lot of smaller aspects that play into a boss that makes it great, right? I want to expand that a little bit more and talk about those smaller aspects when combined together played into a major role on why I love this goddamn queen so much. Alright, first of all, Rennala's design is it's superb, dude. I for one has always liked FromSoft's approach to their character design on their bosses and other NPCs. I especially like the high fantasy approach on design in Elden Ring more than the dark fantasy-ish type design on the Dark Souls series. Bloodborne Gothic mixed with Victorian era approach of design will always be on top for me. Back on topic, I like that Rennala has this towering stature to her. It makes her look really imposing. But on the opposite side though, the way she moves and animated is more smooth and slow. It gives her the feeling of regalness, if that is even a word. It gives her the aura of majesty. Also, I want to quickly say that her demeanor as this motherly figure clutching a orange amber egg in the first phase is just love that. Some more elements I want to touch on briefly before I get into the lore and her actual boss design is the music and the arena that we fight Rennala. I think those two aspects really played a major part on creating the whole spectacle of the boss fight. I know I want to touch on the music briefly, but I don't really have anything to say about it, to be honest. Not because it's bad, but because I just don't know why I love the music so much. I can't explain why it's good. I'm just a fucking dumb YouTuber. I don't fucking know music theory. All I'm saying is just hot damn, this music gives me feelings, dude, and it just fits the whole vibe and the whole spectacle of the boss fight so perfectly. Yuka Kitamura did a banger job, as always. Alright, the arena. In the first phase, the arena is this beautiful grand library with a dark and moody lighting. And the major source of lighting in the arena is like Rennala's big golden bubble, and the bubble that surrounds the child's collar plus the candle that they hold. It creates this kind of like tense and sometimes claustrophobic moments trying to, run around and find the right child's collar. We then get this beautiful transition into the second phase and the reveal of the second phase arena. That being this endless water surrounded by a dark sky filled with colorful and bright stars. And the centerpiece of the stage is like this full moon overlooking everything and shining a light through the entire stage. God damn, when I first got into that second stage, I was like, oh, hold on, what the fuck? This is so cool. This is like ROM type shit, bro, but 100% better. Like, how can you honestly not like this arena? It creates this sense of wonder and spectacle every time you see it. I cannot help but just get in awe every time I get into like this second phase. Now that I mentioned those smaller aspects, now we can talk about like the actual boss design of Rennala. I mentioned earlier that Rennala might be the best gimmick boss FromSoft ever made, and I kinda just want to explain my reasoning a little bit. As you know, Rennala is split between her first phase and a second phase. Her first phase being the gimmick side of things, and the second phase is where the real fight begin, which is kind of ironic if you think about it, because the second phase is like a fake illusion that Ranni conjure up. But I think splitting the boss this way is like a really smart approach by From Software. Because the usual problem I have with gimmick bosses in From Software games is that on subsequent playthrough they just become a goddamn hassle and annoyance to fight. And that problem is pretty much mitigated by the split between the fun gimmicky approach of Rennala's first phase and the actual well-designed and challenging boss in her second phase. Though I can acknowledge that this plus the hefty runback can become just an extra layer of annoyance for a lot of players. Though, personally for me, I love the change. Now, my favorite aspect of Rennala, her lore. So as Ranni mentioned, Rennala is the last queen of the Lucarian royal family, and once head of the Royal Lucaria Academy as well. So if we rewind time just a little bit further, in her youth, Rennala is like a prominent champion who charmed the academy with her lunar magic, and eventually become a master of it. She also led the Glintstone Knights and established the Lucarian family as royalty. Rennala first met Radagon in the battlefields as enemies, but the two quickly fell in love and marriage, uniting the House of the Earth Tree and the House of the Moon. And the two conceived 3 demigod children together, that being Rykard, Radahn, and Ranni. But after Godfrey becomes the first ever Tarnished, Radagon was called to become Marika's second consort, and thus granting him the title of the second Elden Lord. Rennala becomes so heartbroken with the realization that her beloved husband Radagon is leaving her. So broken in fact that the Academy saw that Rennala was no champion after all. The Academy then rebelled against the Lucarian royal families and locked Rennala in the Grand Library. Rennala, locked inside the library, clutching an ember containing an Elden Ring shard, that being Radagon's last gift to her, becomes obsessed with the thought of rebirthing her beloved daughter, Ranni. Man, what the hell, bro? Like, isn't that so fucking tragic? Cause my headcanon is that Rennala didn't go completely insane after Radagon left her. Cause I believe when she was locked in the library, she slowly turned into the state that she is now. After hearing the things that happened to her children, the slow descent of madness that Rykard is undergoing, the battle of Ionia that renders Radahn into a mindless beast and a shell of his former self amidst all of the chaos, in the lands between. Radagon is nowhere to be found. And finally, the death of her beloved daughter, Lunar Princess Rani. And all of that must weigh in her mind so heavily. Can you just imagine being a mother locked inside a library and seeing these terrible things happen to your children and you just can't do anything about it? And the only thing that calms her mind down is clutching the ember that Radagon left. Eventually, as time goes on, her mind deteriorates even more and more. From a reassurance that she tells herself to this like twisted obsession with rebirth. Well, at least that's kind of what my headcanon is. It's kind of like crackpot-ish and probably won't fit into like the timeline of the lore in the game. But I think it's just kind of neat to theorize Rennala as this fallen mother figure that is so burdened by guilt and the state of her children that it drives her mad, rather than this fraud and heartbroken single mother that the Raya Lucaria people seems to think Rennala is. Anyway, I think that's it. I kind of want to say more, especially around the Radagon is like the same person as Marika aspect of it, but I don't really want to extend the video any more than it should. I mean, I feel like I almost died editing that Junichiro video that I made. If you want to see me die, watch that video. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more video like this, I mean, the like button and the sub button is right there. Because I'm gonna make more video like this on the future. No matter how many views I get. Because I genuinely enjoy editing video. Like, I think I'm addicted to making videos. Anyway, I'm gonna hop on into the portal right behind me and see ya.